If you are dreaming of a holiday on the moon, you might wonder when is the best time to go and where to stay. In this video, we will give you some tips on how to plan your lunar trip and make it unforgettable. First of all, you need to decide how long you want to spend on the moon. A typical round trip takes about a week, but you can extend it if you want to explore more of the lunar surface or enjoy some activities like golfing, hiking or stargazing. The longer you stay, the more expensive it will be, so make sure you have a budget in mind. Next, you need to choose your destination. The moon has two sides: the near side and the far side. The near side is the one that faces the Earth and has more features like craters, mountains, and seas. The far side is mostly flat and dark, and you won't be able to see the Earth at all. Depending on your preferences, you can choose a location that suits your mood and interests. One of the most popular destinations on the near side is the Sea of Tranquility, where the first humans landed, and you can visit the historic site and see the footprints and flags that are still there after 50 years. You can also enjoy a stunning view of the Earth, which will look 4 times bigger than the moon does from home. Another option on the near side is the South Pole Aitken Basin, which is the largest and oldest impact crater on the moon. It has a diameter of about 2,500 kilometers and a depth of about 13 kilometers. It is also rich in minerals and water ice, which makes it a potential source of resources for future lunar settlements. You can explore this fascinating region and learn more about its geology and history. If you are feeling adventurous, you might want to go to the far side of the moon, which is also known as the dark side. This is because it never faces the Earth and receives no radio signals from it. You will be completely isolated from any human contact and surrounded by silence and darkness. This can be a thrilling or terrifying experience, depending on your personality. One of the attractions on the far side is the Mare Orientale, which is a huge circular basin that looks like a bullseye. It was formed by a series of impacts that created concentric rings of mountains and valleys. It is one of the most striking features on the moon and a great place to take photos. Another place to visit on the far side is the Tsiolkovsky crater, which is named after a Russian rocket scientist who pioneered space exploration. It is a large crater with a central peak and a smooth floor that contains dark lava flows. It also has a small crater within it that has a bright rim and ejecta rays. It is one of the most beautiful craters on the moon and a must-see for any lunar tourist. Finally, you need to choose the best time to go to the moon. Unlike Earth, which has seasons based on its tilt, the moon has seasons based on its orbit around the Earth. This means that each lunar day lasts about 29 Earth days, with 14 days of daylight followed by 14 days of night. The temperature also varies greatly between day and night, ranging from 100 degrees Celsius to minus 150 degrees Celsius. The best time to go to the moon is when it is full or close to full from Earth's perspective. This means that you will have plenty of sunlight and warmth on the near side, while still being able to see some stars on the dark side. You will also avoid going during lunar eclipses, which occur when the Earth blocks the sun's light from reaching the moon. However, if you want to experience something different, you can also go during other phases of the moon. For example, if you go when it is new or close to new from Earth's perspective, you will have more darkness and coldness on both sides of the moon. You will also be able to see more stars and planets in the sky, as well as some solar eclipses, which occur when the moon blocks the sun's light from reaching Earth. Another factor to consider is how crowded or quiet you want your holiday to be. The moon is becoming more popular as a tourist destination every year, so you might want to avoid going during peak times like holidays or festivals. For example, Easter is a busy time for lunar travel because it is based on a lunisolar calendar that aligns with the moon's phases. On the other hand, if you want to meet other travelers and join some events or celebrations, you might want to go during these times. For example, New Year's Eve is a fun time to go to the moon because you can watch fireworks from different countries on Earth as they light up different parts of its surface. As you can see, there are many factors to consider when choosing the best time and destination for your lunar trip. The most important thing is to do your research and plan ahead so that you can have an amazing experience that you will remember for a lifetime. The moon is not just a bright ball in the night sky. It is a fascinating world with many features to explore and enjoy. In this section, we will tell you what to do and see on the moon, including activities, landmarks, and attractions. One of the most obvious things to do on the moon is to admire its surface. The moon has two main types of terrain: the dark lunar seas and the light lunar highlands. The lunar seas are actually solidified lava flows that filled ancient impact basins. The lunar highlands are older crustal rocks that are heavily cratered and mountainous. You can use a pair of binoculars or a telescope to observe the contrast and details of these regions. Some of the most prominent lunar seas are Mare Imbrium, the Sea of Rains, Mare Serenitatis, the Sea of Serenity, Mare Tranquillitatis, the Sea of Tranquility, and Mare Nubium, the Sea of Clouds. You can also look for smaller seas like Mare Crisium, the Sea of Crises, and Mare Fecunditatis, the Sea of Fertility. These seas have different shapes, sizes, and colors, depending on their age, composition, and history. The lunar highlands are more rugged and varied than the lunar seas. They have many craters, mountains, valleys, and faults. Some of the most impressive craters are Copernicus, Kepler, Aristarchus, and Tycho. These craters have bright ray systems that extend for hundreds of kilometers from their centers. They are caused by material ejected by the impacts that formed them. Some of the highest mountains on the moon are Montes Apenninus, the Apennine Mountains, Montes Caucasus, the Caucasus Mountains, Montes Alpes, the Alps Mountains, and Montes Taurus, the Taurus Mountains. These mountain ranges border some of the largest lunar seas and form spectacular scenery. You can also look for isolated peaks like Mons Huygens, the highest mountain on the moon, and Mons Piton, a conical mountain near Mare Imbrium. Another thing to do on the moon is to visit the Apollo landing sites. These are historic places where humans first set foot on another world. There are 6 Apollo landing sites on the moon. Apollo 11 in Mare Tranquillitatis, Apollo 12 in Oceanus Procellarum, the Ocean of Storms, Apollo 14 in Fromaro Highlands, Apollo 15 in Paulus Putredinis, the Marsh of Decay, Apollo 16 in Descartes Highlands, and Apollo 17 in Taurus Littrow Valley. You can see some of the equipment and flags left behind by the astronauts, as well as their footprints and rover tracks. A third thing to do on the moon is to explore its hidden side. The moon always shows us the same face because it rotates at the same rate as it orbits around Earth. This means that there is a far side of the moon that we never see from Earth. However, sometimes we can catch a glimpse of it due to a phenomenon called libration. Libration is a slight rocking motion of the moon that allows us to see a bit more of its edge at different times. The far side of the moon is very different from the near side. It has fewer lunar seas and more craters and mountains. It also has some unique features like Mare Muscoviense, the Sea of Moscow, Mare Orientale, the Eastern Sea, and Mare Ingenii, the Sea of Cleverness. You can use a telescope or a satellite image to observe these regions. These are just some of the things you can do and see on the moon. The moon is a wonderful place to visit and learn more about our solar system and ourselves. We hope you enjoyed this guide and have fun planning your holiday on the moon.